And now, interview with Pod.
I thought it was fascinating. There were gunshots outside my apartment.
I want to go deep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
So tell me about your life.
My life is pretty good. Yeah. I know you always start these things with like high school and stuff, but I don't know. High school, I was a bit of a nerd. But I wouldn't say I was a full blown, like, I was a full blown nerd when it came to actually like toying with stuff, because that was my thing. But I wasn't the typical socially unacceptable nerd so much. I wouldn't say I was like a popular kid or anything. I'd say maybe I bridged the gap. But that wasn't, it was still high school. It was still super awkward. So what are you gonna do? And then, college. College was pretty rad, especially that first year when we were in the dorms. Honestly, I'd probably put that up there as sort of one of my favorite years of my life. I thought it was a blast living in the dorms with everybody. We just like do whatever the hell we want. It was like a giant extended family where you could just run down the hall and yell at each other. Yeah.
It was a good floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the best wing ever. Except Jurgen wasn't on it, but he came over because it was still on the same floor. So.
Yeah.
But all the other people, like, there were two wings that were like completely antisocial from us.
That's true.
That was sort of weird.
I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Just
but
our wing.
Basically, our wing was the cool place. Yeah. Then finished college, software designer.
Mm-hmm.
I clickety clack on computers all day long. So that's my life story. That's it. That's my whole life. That's sort of depressing.
I think. Are you a confident person? I think you're very confident.
I'd say I'm pretty confident, especially these days.
Very confident.
Very confident.
You're like up there with Robert Downey Jr. level of
Yeah,
confidence.
that's pretty
Like,
impressive. I mean, are you saying this, or are you just
narcissistic.
like expanding on what I just said? I say I'm pretty confident, because I'll take the compliment. Robert Downey Jr. is pretty baller dude. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's a little bit too. He's almost like narcissistic.
Oh yeah. Well, celebrity confident.
Yeah, he's a little over the top.
Yeah, probably. I've never met him. I don't know.
Well, I've seen a lot of interviews with him,
Yeah.
so I feel like I know him.
So you're pretty much best friends. So, yeah. Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty confident these days. Back, high school probably not. Had acne and all that crap. Still kind of had acne every now and then. Never went away. But I'd say that first year in college really helped build confidence.
I think that's the main thing about being successful socially is confidence. It doesn't matter what your interests are so much, If
Yeah.
your interests are nerd-ish.
I would completely agree with that. And in fact, in a number of situations, my interests do not mesh at all with the people I meet, right? So, you just kind of have to wing it, and even if you're not interested, act interested until you find something that is interesting. Because if you act disinterested in a conversation, it's going to off-put the other person, and then you're not going to have the rest of the conversation that could lead to actual, bonding.
Yeah. So, girls.
Yeah, girls. Lady parts and stuff. Never, I've only really had maybe a few serious girlfriends. And then otherwise it's just been little flings here and there. But even those are pretty sparse.
Mhm.
I don't think it's, you know, like an incompetence, like I couldn't if I wanted to, especially these days, but now it's just kind of like, I kind of like being alone a lot of the time. I mean, at some point, yeah, I'll want somebody and want to settle down and all that, but right now it's great being free. I can do whatever the hell I want. Like today, I didn't work today.
Mhm.
I woke up at like, I don't know, 1 or 2 p.m., surfed the internet for the next few hours, went mountain biking, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think obviously love life is a good thing, probably a partnership, you know, but I don't know, I'm not really looking for that right now, so.
So, do you do a lot of social things, just in general?
You know, it's kind of weird now because, you know, when you're in college, it's very easy to meet people because they're all around you and you have friends that are also in college and you're going out and doing things. Now that I live alone, most of my friends have graduated also and they've moved to, you know, Kansas City or further away or whatever. The people I'm closest with are coworkers. And I don't really hang out with a lot of my coworkers, and a lot of my coworkers, you know, have families and kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So it is hard to meet people these days, and it's not like, it's sort of, I think, socially awkward to go to Aggieville, for example, by yourself. Like, just go into a bar and, like, try to introduce yourself into a group. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
almost not going to happen just because it is so taboo, you know?
Mhm.
That's why they have wingmen, like in Top Gear, or Top Gun, not Top Gear. It's a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've actually gotten to know my neighbor really well. We're buddies, and so we haven't been to Aggieville together yet, but we've been talking about it a number of times. Most of the time we just end up drinking in one of our apartments. It's really convenient because we're right across the thing here, so
Mhm.
that's fun.
Yeah.
And the way I met him was just, I sort of, when I moved in, it was like maybe a month before the normal move-in date, for whatever reason. The person who lived in this apartment before me, I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I believe it's pretty true. He's a military guy who had like, was it the post-traumatic stress disorder? And I guess he'd have, you know, like night terrors and he'd just wake up and just destroy shit. So, like, when I moved in, they had just finished replacing, like, doors that he had punched through. The floors had been recarpeted because he had burnt the floors with his cigarettes that he was smoking inside, you know. Apparently he didn't, like, take out his trash. He just, like, threw it around the apartment. So there's, like, piles of garbage all over the place. Yeah, apparently one of the maintenance guys told my neighbor that when they came in here, there's just a pile of trash in the middle of the room, and at the very top was a glass dildo, because apparently his girlfriend was a stripper. So I don't know why. I mean, stripper, I guess, doesn't necessarily apply, or, you know, mean glass dildo, but, you know.
And there's no strip clubs around here.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was, what is that, Junction City? Do they probably have something, right? I would imagine. I don't go to that place.
I don't know.
It's where people get stabbed.
In Junction City.
Mm-hmm. The closest thing to a hood we have around here, right? No.
Hmm.
I don't really know about that. Like I said, I don't go there. Just a word on the street.
Well, we should go there and see if
We should.
see if we get stabbed.
See if we get stabbed, we can report back. That's right, listeners. Soon you'll know.
Yeah.
I guess not listeners, it's not radio. They're viewers. Oh well.
They also have ears.
They do, though. Yeah, you're right. Hopefully. Maybe some of them do closed captioning. Maybe they can't hear.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have trouble peeing in public?
You know, that was really funny. I enjoyed listening to that a little bit. And I enjoyed watching Jurgen sort of like squirm because he's like, wait, what? Is it okay? Like, what are we... Okay. So, anyway, no, not really. I think almost every guy probably goes through a stage in his life, though, where it's awkward to like stand next to somebody pissing. Like, and I've heard this from a lot of people, that's a thing. And I for a little while, I was self-conscious of it because somebody told me it was a thing, and then I was like, well, shit, now I'm thinking about it. But before that, I never had any problem, right? And then after that, I realized, I'm like, what the fuck, this is a bathroom. This is what people do. What's the big deal? So, you know, got over that pretty quick, but that is a real thing people do. But yours was a little different. You were like you were unable or like worried that you would have to get up and go and you wouldn't be able to because you were previously in a social engagement, or at least that's how I understood it.
I guess it's a fear of not being able to go in a social setting.
Okay, so like, if the people are in the bathroom, or just if these are people and you're just gonna have to excuse yourself. It's near 4th of July for the viewers who may not know.
Pretty much, like, if people are in the bathroom. But it would make me anxious just to say I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah?
But yeah, that's been a, problem for me for years. Like, at least since middle school. And ongoing, so I certainly didn't just, couldn't just rationalize it away, like, this is the bathroom.
Well, and why, I guess, why is it awkward?
I don't know. I mean, in a way, it just perpetuates itself.
Well, because you were afraid, and then you had that issue, and now you feel like it's chronic, or, like... Yeah. So it's even harder to overcome because it's sort of built into a mountain.
Sure.
That's like metaphorical shit right there. Huh. Well, I'm not gonna suggest we go and like be piss buddies in the bathroom or anything to get over your fear, but
well, it's funny you say that because that's actually
something that was suggested.
What people do. Well, like on the website, like support group for that's what people do.
Interesting. Like share a single toilet?
No, but just go to the bathroom together.
Okay.
And, practice.
So you need to just pull a, because it's like socially acceptable for girls to do that all the time. They're like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Do you guys want to come with me? Oh my god, it's like a party. And they have like couches and a disco ball in there and like plants. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen a women's restroom? They're like nice. I don't get it. But we should make that socially acceptable for guys to do, and then it wouldn't be a problem. It'd be like hanging out in the bathroom's a cool thing, man.
Wouldn't it be more of a problem?
Or would it? Because then if everybody's doing it, maybe if you start the trend.
I'm afraid people will go to the bathroom with me.
Yeah.
And I won't be able to pee. So if that was like common, then it'd be more of a problem. It'd be like.
But maybe it wouldn't have ever become a problem. You're like, no, fuck you. No. If that was a social norm for guys to do though, and it was your whole life, that's what guys did. It probably wouldn't be a problem, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
So I guess
that's like true of anything.
I know, but kind of think of it as, I don't know, not
like the ancient
weird.
Greeks used to have sex with kids.
Yeah.
And that was normal.
Well, I guess define kids. Because I know back then, you know, like they do it at, you know, like what, 14 or 13, 14, and that was fair and acceptable.
Yeah.
And in some cultures today, that's still acceptable.
And
but the main reason is because the lifespan was a lot shorter back then, so they had to start procreating earlier in order to, you know.
well, and like gay sex was normal.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that a lot of the fear of homosexuality, I think, stems from religious stuff that wasn't present back then, or was but wasn't as prevalent.
Well, yeah, they didn't have Christianity.
The Greeks did, the Romans, you know, and they were even more so probably that way. They'd drink, party, and hook up with whatever was in the room.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, and they had gladiators.
Kill each other, and that was fine and dandy. Yeah, yeah. There was a
Closest
very
thing
different
we had
time.
was like MMA, and that
People don't die. Yeah. So that's probably a good thing.
A lot crazier than us. In some ways, I think they were more advanced socially.
Socially, I mean, they certainly had fewer restrictions. Again, a lot of that is because, you know, it's out of, you know, standards and norms that have come into place from all sorts of different belief systems. America, the United States in particular. You know, nudity in media is like against the rules. It's like totally taboo. Whereas like slicing people to bits on stuff is acceptable. You know, like
yeah.
I mean,
you know what I think is weird is like videos of real, actual killings
mm-hmm.
are free to watch on the internet.
Yes,
but like you can't find a rape on the internet, a real rape.
Have you tried?
I'm just saying.
I imagine you could.
It seems like killing people is like less of an offense than raping people.
Well,
on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, not legally, obviously. I mean, they're both shitty, but yeah, obviously, well, murder is a little bit bigger of a deal when you go into a courtroom.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, why is it legal to have those videos up? I mean,
well, I don't know if it is legal for either, really. But the internet's not governed by the U.S. and it's, you know.
But it's governed by something.
ICANN, I think, is the organization.
Like, child pornography is not on the main internet. It's on like the deep web.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and
so
again, it's somewhere.
Somehow.
You can get it. Technically, child pornography is illegal on the internet, at least in this country.
Illegal.
It's illegal in this country. So, and that's another thing, you know, when people flipped out about SOPA and what is the, you know, all those CISPA and restricting our, you know, rights, you know, basically free speech across the internet, and I was, you know, totally with that, you know, and like I don't want my free speech taken away even on the internet, but we were already sort of doing that. They have takedowns for, you know, child pornography, and nobody's gonna complain about that because it's child pornography and that's fucked up, but you know, it's already sort of there.
You can't buy illegal drugs on the internet. I mean, you can buy them on the deep web.
Yeah, through Tor and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Bitcoins. Yeah. Bitcoins. No, yeah, we can talk about Bitcoins too, but the whole thing is, yeah. The internet is a very crazy place.
Yeah, sort of.
And it isn't really regulated, and it can't really be unless, you know, they actually, you know, block off certain IP ranges and shit. because it's user generated. Anybody can post anything. So yeah.
It was regulated somewhat.
Well,
Because
if people posted it to YouTube, like a child rape on YouTube, it would get taken down because obviously that's illegal and against YouTube's regulations. But if they posted it to some other website, like what are those, like Break? They probably have rules about that too. But a lot of that shit stays up on
Lively.
Lively, that's the one.
Craziest one, but still, I think people monitor themselves because if they put up a video that's terrible, people are gonna try and track it down via.
Yeah, no. Like 4chan. 4chan, for example, is almost like its own
Police.
authority. Yeah. If there's something like there's a cat that some dickhead kid tortured a cat, and 4chan dug up all its details and like tormented the motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Like it's vigilantism basically, but it's all digital. Like they didn't. I don't think, and maybe they did. But I don't think they actually went to his house and messed with him. They just like they got all of his information and they were able to torment him digitally.
Right.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's like a new brand of justice.
And that guy that killed and ate his roommate, boyfriend.
Yeah.
He was tracked down
kind of weird.
quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard about the Japanese guy. He's a artist. He recently decided that he would sell a plate of his cooked genitals for, I think, $250. That's art.
Good price.
That's art right there. So yeah, he chopped off his.
Very reasonable.
I know. I'm like, really? You couldn't have like upped the price at least $500? Come on. No, he chopped off his parts and served them up, and he allowed the winner, whoever bid the highest, or not bid the highest, because I know it was just $250 flat fee. I think it's just weird. He's like, all right, buy it now, eBay, $250. Otherwise, they're bidding. But yeah, let them pick how they wanted it cooked and everything. That's not illegal in Japan. That was fine.
Well,
So,
you've probably
it's
seen that guy in Japan on there's like a Vice documentary.
Mm-hmm.
When he was younger, he was like a foreign exchange student in France or somewhere in Europe,
Okay.
and he shot a girl, like a college age girl, and ate part of her. Anyway, he was like sent back to Japan and never went to prison.
Well, yeah, because I guess the killing would have been illegal in Japan, but cannibalism actually isn't illegal in Japan, is my understanding, which is why the guy selling his cooked genitals was okay there. It's just cannibalism. There's nothing else wrong with it. It's his own expression. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
He's like a celebrity. Like that's the only way he can make money. Is just selling like the story.
Oh, sort of like OJ.
He's the cannibal guy.
It's like, now if I had done it, here's a book.
Well, they know he did. For sure.
Yeah, well, we all know OJ did it too, but
That's true.
yeah. Yeah, he's in jail though, so it doesn't matter. For something completely different.
Mm-hmm. What are your problems?
My problems.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, I do have a lot of alcohol over there, but I don't actually drink like very often unless it's social. And even then, I may only have a few drinks. I don't really care for getting drunk. I don't really find it enjoyable, and then also on top of that, usually for me, I don't even get drunk. I just get sick. Like I feel ill before I feel like fun drunk. Like the exception has been, only a few times where I'm like, oh, I feel awesome and I'm drunk. It just doesn't happen. So
You're not a happy drunk.
I don't know. It all just depends on the mood you're in that day or when you're going into it, I think. I don't think anyone's just a happy drunk or just an angry drunk, So
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews, that motherfucker is angry.